Well, hello and welcome to Katy Sue headquarters. A very warm welcome to everyone that's going to join us, but a particularly warm welcome to this wonderful gentleman, Chef Nicholas Lodge, who has just totally inspired us. Now these, the latest of the flowerpro, the spring collection, have just launched today, so there's loads and loads of exciting things to tell you, but I'm just going to let Nick just tell you all about what we're going to go through.
Thank you. And Noreen and I have just spent the last actually 7 days together. Basically, we were at Cake International in London, so we actually did like a little pre-launch there, and then of course we were at Ho Chanda for a 24-hour special. So we just filmed 5 1-hour specials on Ho Chanda.
So look what happens when you've spent that much time. I'm a flower pro girl. This is what happens when you spend too much time with Nick Lodge.
But so we obviously have been laughing, and we drove up this morning from obviously down in Ho Chanda near Peterborough, and obviously we've now unpacked everything, ready to explain a little about the new collection. And as Noreen said, we're super excited with this new spring collection because there's a lot of things people have been asking for. Obviously, the response to the initial range was amazing, and obviously our Facebook group having nearly 6,000 members on that now is an incredible resource for finding out information about things.
Absolutely incredible.
You know, and a lot of people said to us at the weekend, and how sort of nice it is to be able to sort of share photographs and obviously ask advice and things.
I love that, and for me the main thing was the inspiration that people have gained from not only the book but from all your tutorials which are available there. They're an absolute source of inspiration, so it was lovely to have that added assurance that you know you're on the right track. It was just amazing that people just tried it and thought, actually, you know what, I can do that, and I've done exactly the same. I love it.
Yes, and to see like some of your work that you've never made flowers before and are producing amazing flowers and cakes and things is very humbling. So we're really excited about this new collection. So a couple of things. Katy, who's part of the Katy Sue team, is obviously watching for questions. So if you do have any questions or comments or anything, please just type those in. And we also are super excited to launch, along with obviously the new collection, we also have the new tutorials. So there's actually 11 new YouTube tutorials which obviously focus on the flowers, and there's also one tutorial which is called Finishing Touches, which actually shows how to sort of arrange the flowers onto the cake. And I talk a lot about like using picks and straws, and like how I do the floating Calla Lilies, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. So as I said, so definitely check out those new obviously video tutorials on YouTube. So you can do that through Katy Sue Designs /flowerpro, or you can go to Katy Sue Designs website, and then you can just click on flowerpro, and then you can actually click on the product, and that will take you to the video link. Now remember, there is the little quick short videos, which is just really just to give you an idea of what it is, but obviously there's full-length tutorials. So I've actually given you like hundreds of pounds or dollars worth of tuition if you were coming to a class to learn these beautiful flowers. So hopefully you'll find that. And book number 2, obviously we had a lot of response, when's book number 2 coming out? So we are working on that, and the team here is working very hard. Obviously I was over a few weeks ago in the UK shooting all the videos, and now we're taking all of that, obviously we put them in video format. We're now working on the book. So we're hoping May, early June. We don't have a defined date, but again, if you're not on part of our flowerpro group, make sure you join that. Just go to Facebook.
Get on it.
And just put in a request to join flowerpro, and of course that's where we post a lot of stuff first. So you have on the flowerpro Facebook group, that's where we put information about new products and things like that.
Other people give a lot of encouragement. So if a bit like myself, to be totally honest, you think, wow, that looks so amazing, I'm never going to be able to do that. And then you just look at the tutorials, and then you come onto the flowerpro group and ask any questions. Did you use this? Have you tried that? What colour should I use? And Nick is always there, as well as a wealth of other people who do really top class sugar flowers too, and they are always there to give you advice, aren't they?
Exactly. Our team, like people like Margaret Ellis, who's on the design team, who has a wealth of information and many years of knowledge in flower making, just like I do.
It's the experience, isn't it?
Exactly.
It is the experience.
And, if you're trying to find something, or obviously, people post photographs of sort of certain things, but, we're there to help you as a sort of Flower Pro family. And remember, it is what we call a cross-pollination of anything floral. So we do also have a lot of crafters. So those of you that are watching this, based on Maya Chanda and Noreen being at the Chanda yesterday, obviously, the Flower Book Facebook group the Flower Pro has a lot of crafters, so people that work in air drying clays, in polymer clays, metallic clays, all different other mediums. And now, like the Petia, who lives in Europe, did a beautiful peony with wafer paper. She was teaching a class with Alan Dunn at Cake International, and so we are planning going forward of having some of these artists do some special projects, some potentially Facebook Lives based on some of the things they're doing with the materials.
So all we're saying is get on board, join the Facebook Flower Pro group, and just enjoy the journey. You're going to love it. It's so exciting.
And we also are doing a drawing, so if you're buying anything on our UK or our USA Katy Sue Designs website, then if you put in the code FlowerPro, lowercase all one word, FlowerPro, when you check out as the code, that will put you into the drawing. And we are going to be giving away, see it's popped up on the screen here, so FlowerPro, and we are going to be giving away a lovely FlowerPro apron.
Not mine, no.
Modeled by
Not
Noreen.
Mine.
Okay.
Get this one.
Also, we're going to include, this is something you'll see I use, is sort of a jumbo ball-in tool. So this is a large ball-in tool, which we have from the States.
We're so jealous. I'm sorry, so jealous. So obviously everybody wanted to have one. And when you see how Nick's doing the flowers, then you realise you need one of those.
But this is great for you'll see me use this on the big Calla Lily. Of course, I also show other alternative options like using a rolling pin. I know even people that take a glass marble and have hot glued that onto a dowel. So there
it's
are
invaluable
other options.
For softening the edges,
exactly,
isn't it?
But especially on the big flowers like the large Calla Lily, this really helps a lot with that. So we're going to include that, and then we also have a $50 gift card to use on the UK side, or £50 on the UK side, or $50 on the US side. So as I said, we will be drawing that at noon British Standard Time.
So this is for everyone who has either bought from the launch today right up until Monday at 12
noon US time, so which will be 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday. So obviously, if you're shopping over the next few days, which we hope you will after seeing all of these amazing new products, you will be, as I said, just put Flower Pro, as I said, in your code. So then obviously we will put you into a drawing.
So best of luck with that one, everyone. That's super cool.
And so remember, send in some questions. If we have any questions, obviously Katie will just sort of voice those and let us know, and we'll try and respond to those. So anyway, Flower Pro Spring Collection is obviously a little different than the original collection in that it obviously has connected, a little bit like before with the rose, but this has got connected molds. So there's 5 new molds, all right? We also, 3 weeks ago, launched a new Calyx, which I'm going to talk about as well, and also the new Flower Pro Cut Edge cutters, blossom cutters for making roses, and a 4-piece rose leaf set. So we're going to talk about all of those today. So first of all, I'm going to just talk about the lily. All right, so this is the lily here. So you can see this is the lily mold. Now, with like all the other Flower Pro booklets and packaging, you do have step by step. These were done by Christine, who's part of our amazing design team, and this goes through obviously showing you the step by steps. Let's let my little green finger out.
That in itself is amazing, isn't it? Yes. So you immediately get the idea of what's going to go on.
Totally. But this, of course, like on the other packaging, goes through step by step, showing how to do, for example, like the stamens, and then the pistil and stigma, and then moving on to obviously the petals and the leaves. All right. So of course, this also has the link to the tutorials. So here you can see katyzoodesigns.com/flowerpro. That will take you straight to the Flower Pro videos. And remember, there are 11 new ones to watch. So that will keep you busy for the next few days, maybe over the Easter weekend. That will give you something to do. But also remember, we could also have the original ones as well. And so these are helpful to obviously understand how everything works. But in the Flower Pro, just gonna pop things over here. This is the Flower Pro Lily mold. Now, this is quite a unique mold because it is designed a little similar to the poinsettia in that it has the components for making a lily. Now, there actually are These are actually the what's in the actual mold. So there are two sizes of the petals, okay? And the two sizes of the petals are used for obviously a smaller lily or a larger lily. In a moment I will bring in and show you the two lily sizes actually made as full flowers, which are on the screen to start off with. But I've obviously made this smaller one as an orange lily, and then the white one as a sort of stargazer rubrum, which I know is Noreen's favourite one. She always has those at home.
And you know, so many people love those.
Oh yes, totally. And then of course there's two sizes of leaves as well. So of course you could decide what size lily you're going to make. So like for example with the orange lily, you'd make the smaller petals and the smaller leaf. Then we have the pistil and stigma. Now this is the top of the lily, alright, which is this part here. Okay, so this is actually the top of the lily, and you can see here. So this is actually made very easily, and you'll be able to watch the videos by putting, like we have a little like a trefoil shape of wire. You put that into the mold like this, and then you take that out of the mold, and then you actually just let that dry a little bit, and then take in this case, a number 6 size ball of paste. You just slide it like a little ball up there, and then just stretch this up to the top, and this makes perfect lilies. And you see there are two sizes, so in the directions there will be two different sizes of these. All right, and we try to think of everything. Then on here there is also the stamen molds. Okay, so these are the straight stamens. So these would be for vertical straight stamens, which I've used on the brown, on the orange lily in brown. And then these are T-bar, or for like almost like a sort of a T-shape, like a hammerhead stamen, because some lilies varieties have the T-shaped stamens and some have straight stamens. So here you can actually see this is the small and the large stamen. So again, when you watch the videos, you'll see how you just put a little piece of paste onto there, you press it into the mold, turn it around, press it into the mold. It makes perfect stamens so easily. Okay, and then when we do the T ones, what we do is you actually make a little T shape of wire, which again you'll see on the videos, and you actually would put that into the little mold, the brown piece of paste or yellow into the mold, put the T-bar hook in there, just flex the mold like we did on the filler flower mold, like that. And when that comes out, that's going to give you a T-shape stamens. These could also be used for things like Gloriosa lilies, Amaryllis, you know, some other types of lily varieties. So this is just an alternative to using, you know, like artificial stamens, which we sometimes use on certain flowers. And of course, the back of this also has, this has got the back part to the mold, which you'll see on the videos I use to press the paste in. And of course, you use this to vein the back of the leaves. And then we use this to vein the back of the petals lightly as well.
Wow, I think you've just really thought of everything, haven't you?
Well, we tried.
Absolutely,
you know. So this actually shows you, like in two slightly different colours. You see the leaves, all right, and in here you see actually I've got this is the sort of incredible detail on the mold from the mold.
Wow.
So this shows like the orange paste here. And when you are of course in the video, I also show, as I do in a lot of my other ones, how we color those. So you can see the beautiful, rich, vibrant colors here. Here we have this one is dusted with like a ruby color and then a little bit of green, and that really sort of intensifies that sort of orange. And then this one is done with a sort of a pinky plum color and a fuchsia color, and then little markings on it.
So I think I must have just turned into a mind reader, because I can read everyone's mind now. What they're doing is they're looking at this and thinking, no way can I do that. Let me assure you, once you watch the tutorials, absolutely so easy. Right. And it just makes you so proud to be able to do something like that. I was just ecstatic.
And this actually was a lily that Noreen made. So this is actually done in air drying clay, and because Noreen works a lot in air drying clay. And when we were on Hochanda for the last 2 days, we were obviously using air drying clay, the hardy clay that Katy Sue sells. But you can see here the colouring is beautiful. So Noreen has never made a lily in her life.
Absolutely never,
and this sort of shows you how you can create this following the directions. Okay, so it's very, very easy to do.
So again, if you're using it for home decor, or you're selling it on your, you know, your craft stands, then it's perfect. And then if you're going to do it in sugar paste, well, wow, those cakes are just going to be stupendous.
I was just going to show maybe Jack's mold here.
Yeah, this is just beautiful. So you can see the different colours there. And look at the colouring on there. So that would then be able to be coloured. This is an air dry clay again. So you'd be able to colour that in any kind of colour that's going to suit your home decor.
So you see Jack's obviously used this beautiful colour on the frame here. So this really gives you the lovely sort of colour there for the frame. And then this was actually one I did on Hochanda. So this one was actually, I made in air drying clay. And if you can actually, for those of you who don't obviously live here in the UK, so mostly US or rest of the world, if you go to Hochanda, which is Hochanda, it's a pink logo. You can download that app, and then you can actually go back and you can watch me in rewind for 5 1-hour shows, and you'll see how I actually made this. So this one I actually made, instead of wiring all of the components, I actually just pressed the paste into the 6 times into the cavity. And then I actually laid it out like a fan, and I put one down, and then I glued one on the top, and then one underneath, then one on the top, and one underneath, one on the top. And I built it round in a cone shape and just dried it in an aluminum foil former. And so this one you can see here was made with air drying clay. So I actually used this like on a frame. So again, this actually was my, my mum and dad are upside down. This was my mum and dad from 1960, the year before I was born. So,
fabulous.
And this would be lovely to do, for example, like say a 50th wedding anniversary. You could do this in golden yellow, or you could do it, of course, in, again, as Noreen said, to match colour of home decor and things.
Of course. So. And again, if you were doing it for maybe an up-to-date, for a regular wedding now, what you could do is make these in air dry clay and put them in a dome or something like that, so you're going to be in a shadow box.
Like shadow box is lovely as well, because they're not going to get so dusty.
Just superb.
So of course the air drying clay, and the only difference between the air drying clay when we work with that is we just use like a PVA glue. So this is just like a school glue, a PVA glue, and this is the Flower Soft one, but basically a PVA glue. And then you just you also, the nice thing about the air drying clay is we don't have to stick that. You don't have to stick the petals together with like egg white or edible glue, because it sticks to itself. But as I said, if you're interested in air drying clay and you didn't watch me on Hochanda, definitely go back and watch those in reruns. They have a rewind, so just go back to Monday and Tuesday, and I did a show here in the UK at 6 p.m, 8 p.m. on Monday. So just look for Katy Sue flowerpro and you'll be able to watch those in rewind.
But you know what brings to mind, especially the detail on the lily petals. There's no way that you would be able to replicate that unless you are a master sugar artist as yourself.
But even that is difficult because of the textural detail.
Yes,
I mean, before this came out, I would often use just like a pair of scissors and snip it, but it just doesn't have the same look.
No,
and then
you need these.
So that mold is $19.99 here in the UK and $24.99 in the US. So obviously we have those. You'll see them on the Katy Sue Flower Pro group page. To complement that, we have the Lily Bud mold. So the Lily Bud mold, this is the Lily Bud mold, and again you can see this has obviously got your directions. And when we make this, we basically make this very much like my pine cones or my rose cones, all right? So, and you can see it comes in 3 sizes. So we have 3 different sizes there. Just moving things out. So just going to bring these in to sort of give you the basic idea. So this shows actually the 3 sizes of the buds, 1, 2, 3. Remember, these are all shown on the full-length tutorial, because I'm on the full-length tutorials. Those are on average of between 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So it's like, so we would obviously have to have a 6-hour Facebook Live if we were to sort of show you everything. But anyway, so when you do this, the basic concept, just like on my pine cones, you're going to fill the mold up level. Okay, when I do the small unmature buds, I generally do them in really, really pale green, like I make my hydrangeas. You put a wire into there. You take this out, you let it dry, and then what you do is you just would repeat this. And remember, you've got the little channel in there to accommodate your wire.
Absolutely love that, because that enables you to get that wire in nice and straight.
Yeah, so just like on the pine cones, very easy. Just take that out, and then what you do is then you would just refill it. So you just take another, just fill that up level. In the case of like air drying clay, a little bit of PVA glue, egg white or edible glue or super bond on here, and then you press the dry one on the top. So when you take that out, you see how you're going to have this beautiful.
You've got no lines, no seams, other than what you would expect to have on a beautiful toast.
And then I also show on the video, because some varieties of lilies have more pointed buds, like the Stargazer. So what I actually did there is, as you'll see on the video, there's 2 options. That is, you make the first half, take it out, then you make the second half straight away. So obviously then your bud is soft, and you just stretch this down a little bit, and then you just snip the top with your scissors. So that makes the option of a obviously a pointed bud or a slightly rounded bud.
That's just incredibly botanically correct.
And so those are really, as I said, great. And so the bud mold is $14.99 in the UK and $18.99 in the US. Okay, so that's going to be. And I'm just going to bring in just going to bring in actually just to show you here.
Okay.
So this is actually the lily here. So this is the lily, the orange lily. And you see here, this is obviously used the smaller petals. These are obviously individually wired components. So smaller petals, you have the pistil and stigma, which is the middle part of the lily. We have the straight stamens, small size stamens. And then I have here the small and medium bud. So the small bud I made in light green and dusted that with some orange and green. Again, this is all shown on the video. And then obviously this one I did with the ruby color and then the darker green and your leaves. So you see how
leaves are beautiful.
But you see how you have the lovely veining onto here. And of course this would be beautiful to use on a cake. So you know, if you're working on a sort of a small cake or a let's put that in there. If you're working on a cake and you need to have, I'm just going to come around here. I'm just going to bring in. So this is the like the larger lily, and so this shows you the larger size lily. So just to give you a comparison of them side by side, you can see the two lily sizes here. Okay, and so here this one has used the larger lily and the larger obviously leaf, the larger pistil stigma, and the larger hammerhead T stamen. So you can see these ones are the ones that are like the T-shaped stamens. And in here I've got large, medium, and small buds, and again those have been made with the pointed top on them. Okay, and I've got that into a cake. And remember, we have the video which sort of shows how you would arrange and use picks and straws and gives you different ideas for arranging flowers onto cakes. So that is the, as I said, the lily. So remember, that's a two-part mold. So obviously you've got the buds, and then you have the petals and leaves, pistil, stigma, and things. So we're super excited about that, and we're really excited to see also everybody's creations, because part of the Flower Pro Facebook group is seeing what everybody does with colour.
It is. You know, and what I would definitely say is just have a try. You know, you're either using fondant, roll out paste, or you're using air dry clay, and either one of which, if you make a mess of it, scrunch it up and try it again. And this is where you learn, and of course from the tutorials.
Yes. And then this is actually another one of our design team, Karen C, also done in air drying clay, but you can see here this actually shows a larger and a small lily both done in the same color. So of course if you were doing like a vase arrangement, you might want to make a smaller one and then a larger one. But you think that, you know, obviously when you make flowers, it's nice doing them in air drying clay, because this could be put into a bathroom. You can use these in all sorts of applications for home decor that you can't really use sugar, or it wouldn't be practical to use sugar because obviously they would get damaged easily.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
So yeah, so those are the that's just some, gives you some ideas maybe of some colors and things onto the to the lily. So we're going to start on that, talk about the peony. So, yeah. So this is the Peony and Tulips. So this is quite a unique mold, all right? So this mold here, again, you can see on the leaflet. So obviously inside you have the basics of doing, obviously shows you the peony. What's amazing about this mold, all right, this is also $19.99 in the UK and $24.99 in the US. It has a back veiner, so just like the poinsettia. But what makes this mold unique is not only can we use it for Oriental style and classic peonies like cabbage style peonies, we can also use it for tulips as well. So this has actually got a little more versatility as far as what you can use it for. This was extremely popular at Cake International, also on Hochanda as well, because, you know, everybody loves lilies and also peonies as well. So this mold has got 4 sizes of cavity for the petals, which is a small, a medium, a large, and an extra large. And then this center part here, this is actually used for when we make the Oriental style peony. So the Oriental style peony, which I have, I'm just going to pull this out of the cake here. Alright, so let's take this out of the cake. There we go. So here's the Oriental style peony. Alright, and of course this could be made smaller, as I explained to our customers at Cake International and on Hochanda. You know, this is obviously a large flower, okay, but it's a stunning flower.
It's just a statement piece, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and what's really nice about this is that's all you need on a cake. But of course you could make this smaller. You could of course add buds and leaves just like the classic peony. But anyway, so this is the mold that makes the center part. I'll put that back in there. There we go. And so this is actually, you would put number 7 ball of yellow paste, make it into a cone shape, and then what you do is you actually press this in the mold, you rotate it round, so that will actually give the 3 lines onto here, 1, 2, 3, and then you actually just cut in with a pair of scissors once, with the scissors horizontal, and then once with the scissors vertical to cut the other two. So when you curl this back, this will give you your 3 little sort of curled back top pieces. And then I'm using here Floral Stamens. These are seed head stamens. There are many different companies that sell these stamens all over the world. So these are just artificial stamens. These are large seed head stamens. And you just are going to attach these around the center. And then of course what you would then do is you would have you'd make your wired petals in your sizes here. This actually shows one of them colored from the videos. So you see how you've got, these are the 4 sizes of petals. And then what you actually do is once they're colored and taped, you just start putting these around, and you do 5 small, 5 medium, 5 large, and then you can do 5, 10 or 15. In the video actually do 10. So this particular Oriental Peony has 25 petals. The actual time it took me to do that when I made these petals, and to time that and then making the center, obviously then you have to let it dry and then coloring it, was about 42 minutes. All right, so you know you're basically going to be investing about a minute per petal on making it, and then you know like 15-20 seconds to color it. So even if it took you like double that time, even if it took you an hour and a half, that's a really stunning flower to use on a cake, and to be able to sort of make that with ease with the flowerpro system.
I do think we've just got a question in. Katie's just wanting to ask.
Yes, Katie?
Where would you recommend buying florist tape and wires from?
Well, florist tape and wires, I mean, obviously we do have bundles on Katy Sue here in the UK, but also, like, for example, like at my, those people in the US, at my nicholaslodge.com, we carry all the wires and the stamens, the seed head stamens. In the UK, stamens, you can buy from, like, the Old Bakery. They're down in Taunton, in Somerset area, also Hamilworth, but in the UK, most cake decorating stores do carry, you know, wires and stamens. But again, it's sort of something you can, if you're looking, those of you in other countries, maybe post that on the Facebook group page, because that's where people will
check
help
out the Katy Sue website.
Because on the Katy Sue website we do have a wire bundle, which has the white wire bundle, and then obviously the white floral tape, and then it's also a green wire bundle as well, and green floral tape. But so this is of course is what is used for the petals here, okay? But then you can also, and then obviously Oriental Peony is this one. But then in addition to that, there is also the pistil stigma in 3 sizes to use for the tulip. You see, so it's very much like in the way that we make the lily. This would be pushed into the mold, and then you take that out. This is obviously a separate piece, and then you just slide a little sausage up there. And then you also have 3 stamen molds. All right, so these 3 stamen molds here, you use those. I've used the large one. I use black paste in here and black semolina, and that would make the stamens, which are then taped in pairs around the center. So again, it sort of really simplifies the whole process of making stamens and lilies. So when you're making the parrot tulip, so for example here, I'll just bring in the parrot tulip. I just got this in a container here. But you can see here, I'm just going to open this out so you can sort of see the stamens here in the middle, okay? And then these are the extra large size petals, which are individually wired, okay?
And that's the benefit of having them wired.
It's lovely,
like
yes.
Able to display it as you want.
Exactly. And then, but what's nice about this is then if you wanted to make a smaller tulip, like an open tulip, which of course you could do parrot tulips, angelique tulips, there are many, many different styles. You can then, thanks Noreen, you can also, of course, make the medium one or the small one, and you could use a smaller petal or even the very small one, so you can do open tulips. And also on the videos, and I showed that on Hochanda as well, I showed making the little small, these are like little French or Dutch tulips. So this is actually made using my medium-sized rose cone from my first flowerpro set, and then literally just using 6 petals. And you take 6 petals and you just put them in the mold, no wire, take them out and you put 3 of them in a spiral and then 3 on the outside of them. Okay, and this makes really cute little tulips. And I'm just going to bring in a couple of examples from our design team. So you see here, beautiful, again for home decor. So we have a lovely like little jug there with obviously the tulips in and the tulip leaves. These again are made in air drying clay, but of course in sugar they work wonderful as well.
Yep, so Jackie done that one, hadn't she?
And then, you know, of course, this has got the back veiner on it also, okay? So I'm just going to put this out, and I'm just going to bring in a couple of other, thank you, Nora, I'll put it over there, a couple of other examples. This is a cake that I show on the video, and then this cake here, as you can see, has got the tulips and the tulip leaves. So here I've got 3 sugar tulips in white, just put on the side of a cake, and of course this makes a nice addition. Here, what I've actually done there is I've used the lily leaf as a border.
Very clever,
so actually,
isn't it?
Kerry Griffiths very kindly came up and helped with a lot of this preparation. So thank you to Kerry. I'm sure he's watching for helping with covering the cakes and doing some of the trim on them. But yeah, so this is just done with the small tulip leaf. So what that actually does, it sort of emulates the look of the tulip leaves. A really nice design. And just talking about using molds for that, on the bottom of this one, so on the bottom of this one here,
that was ingenious.
yeah, we actually, I'm just going to bring it up into camera so you can see it. What I actually did there is we used the Stamen Mold. So we actually took the stamens from the peony. I actually modified some of the sugar paste, the rolled fondant, the pale mint green Oriental fondant, and then we just did 3 at a time. So what Kerry actually did there is he just took some modified sugar paste rolled fondant, pressed it into the mold, went across with a little scraper, popped them out, another 3, popped them out. So that cake is actually all made and decorated with this one mold.
Wow.
You see? So, and of course this particular peony here doesn't feature any leaves, so of course for a more modern contemporary style cake, a lot of times you would use that sort of type of style, you know, just a big statement flower. So the peony is a super versatile flower, very, very nice. And these are actually, this is using the same, like the little French tulips there, but these are literally like half tulips. So these are actually made, Noreen did these again in air drying clay, but again on the side of a cake or on a cookie, this will be beautiful. So what Noreen actually did with these, this is just half of a medium rose cone, and then that's just 3 petals. So you just really wrap 1, wrap 2, wrap 3, like a spiral around it. And so you can make half relief cookies. And then Noreen again used the smaller and the larger lily leaf to emulate the small tulip leaves.
And again, that was the first time ever.
Yeah,
you know, and I know people who know me think, well, you're used to working with clay, but not used to making flowers, and it's so easy. It's addictive once you start.
Yes, and the thing with the you know, that mold is very versatile, because as I said, this, you can imagine on, say, a spring cookie for Easter, you could just do like a half tulip and then just a little single leaf. And then Noreen just rolled this, but you could also pipe the stem as well. You could just use some royal icing or even buttercream to pipe the stem. But anyways, it just gives you ideas of some things that you can make with the tulips. So I'm just checking, I think that's, we have also a journal here. So this was like a journal made by one of our design teams. This is made by Karen as well. So like we've got tulips on this. So again, those of you that do other crafts like cards, journals, you know, you could make sort of tulips on there. So this is a really nice way of obviously doing like a spring journal. We have all of our design team work so hard in doing all these things, and so we have some you know, this also is another tulip here on a card, and then Jack Heath made these adorable little, now these are made in air drying clay, but you could totally make these in sugar. But you see it's a little bunny rabbit, but it actually has a little, one of our favorite eggs in the bottom of it. So this would be really cute to do.
And those are just made from the peony petals.
Yes, so just the peony petals, and of course make a little bunny on the top. And you can imagine how cute these would be for Easter. And then you could of course just unpeel the foil here, take the egg out, and then of course you could keep that as a sort of a little keepsake for Easter.
Right, I think we'll have another question from Katy.
Okay.
Yeah, could the peony centre be used as a bud for any other flower if created along with the stamens?
You could use that also for like for tight buds. You know, like there are certain like little small buds we use for clematis and things like that. So you could use that without the stamens as like a bud for something like a clematis or some of those flowers that have more pointed buds. You could totally use that.
Good question.
Good question. Yes. So, and then, and so I think we said Peony Tulip Mold Vena, that's £19.99, $24.99 US. So a great deal because of so many things you can do with that one mold, right? So then to complement that, we have the Peony Leafs, all right? So the Peony Leafs, so obviously the Peony Leafs are used with the peony, all right? And so this mold, again, has got 2 different sizes of leaves as a triple leaf. So you can see here, this will actually make the sort of the triple leaf here. Unfortunately, this one got a little bit damaged, but you've got the idea. So you actually there, you would put 3 number 7 carats of paste in there. So you actually put the carrot with the fat end there, thin end there, 3 number 7s. You sort of blend it together, push your wire into the little groove there, and when you pop it out, soften the edge, you have an instant peony leaf. So there's 2 sizes.
So Nick, for anybody that doesn't understand what you're talking about with the number 7.
That's with the size guide, which is obviously was in the book. All right, so this is obviously in the Flower Pro in my first book. This is the size guide, and the size guide is obviously how we measure. And remember, if you are unfamiliar with the Flower Pro initial concept, go back to one of the earlier YouTubes we have, which talks about how to use the size guide, about types of paste to use. We get a lot of questions, like at the show we had at the weekend in London, a lot of people were asking, well, can you use fondant? Now, remember, fondant, or sugar paste, as we call it here in the UK, is used in a lot of Katy Sue molds.
Yes.
And it works really, really well in most Katy Sue molds. But for flowers, typically, we want to use a flower paste, a petal paste, a gum paste, you know, either a commercial one or a scrap. But so I have, as I said, a whole YouTube which gets like getting started. So it talks about how to use a size guide, and obviously talks about types of paste and things. But as I said, for some of the basic things, like say making rose cones, making the center of the Calla Lilies and that, you could totally use modified sugar paste or old fondant. But when you come to do things like the peony, what it's going to do is going to just not have the structural integrity of a scratch gum paste, flower petal paste, or a commercial one.
And of course that would help with the painting as well.
Exactly.
If you're dusting it.
Yes, totally. But anyway, so this is the peony, and then of course you also have this single. This is the single one that goes each side of the peony. This is actually an air drying clay one that I did at Hochanda. So you can see this is an air drying clay, but you see this is actually the triple leaf, so this will actually go like this, and this is the single leaf here. So, and then these single leaves could also be used for other flowers like gardenias, azaleas, rhododendrons. So there's lots and lots of flowers that have just a sort of a plain skinny leaf like that. So you could even use it for cherry blossom. So this is again a very useful. With Flower Pro, the whole idea of the collection is to try and obviously create flowers. This particular peony here, this is actually not made unwired. So almost this is just like the middle of the big peony shown on the video. So these are actually, all these petals are just put onto a round ball or onto a, can use a foam ball as well, but I show this. And then when you actually make the buds of the peony, I show this on the video, what we actually do there is we use the ball from the large rose cone, which is just hiding here. There we go. So what we actually do there is you just make the large cone following the directions in the book and then or in the videos, and I just cut off the top, and that's what I actually use for inside the peony bud. You see, and it makes a beautiful. And
that's a great help because you then have the basis, you have the foundation, don't you?
Exactly, Noreen. Yeah, and those are important things. And of course, you can also use like a 1 inch or 25 millimeter foam ball, or a 40 millimeter to 1.5 inch foam ball as well as an alternative. But that just sort of shows you the leaves here. The other peony here was actually, we have a video which came out a few weeks ago. This is what we call like the quick peony, which is also shown. There's a video on this that's already out, that was out a few weeks ago, and that's actually made with my my cutters here. These are the 3 sizes. These are the new Pro Cut cutters, all right, which have an incredible cutting edge. And Kerry Griffiths obviously launched these on Hochanda about 3 weeks ago. And obviously for Sugarcraft, they work wonderful, but also air drying clay, which is a little bit fibrous. What that means is that you don't get the sort of fuzzy edges. These have a Pro Cut edge, which, like buying a professional kitchen knife, gives you an ultimate, really beautiful cutting edge.
So when you're using them, once you use these, you totally understand how you get the crisp cut in them.
Exactly.
So if you are, if you've got, like myself, got cheaper ones, and then you try them, as you're saying, Nick, this is professional standard.
Yes. And so this peony is just created on a ball, but rather than using individual petals, it's just done with one of those, and then 2 or 3 layers with the big size one. So you can find that. So that's what we call the quick peony. So on the new tutorials, there's a video for the quick peony, which is made with the blossom cutters, Oriental Style peony, which is the pale pink one here with the flat petals all individually wired. Thank you, Noreen. And then you have also the classic peony, which is the classic peony, which is the large one. Let's bring this over. It's a little bit easier than taking it off. This is the large peony here. And again, you can see this has got its leaves. And then we also decorated this, the base of this cake, just bring this up into camera, with peony petals as well. So it's just a nice way to sort of, rather than having to think about, well, what else am I going, how am I going to decorate it? You can decorate that with your peony.
But you know, if you were doing a cake for someone, one peony with the bud, that is just incredible.
Fabulous. I'm just looking for the...
Now, Jack Heath did this one, didn't she? So this is all in air-dry clay. Absolutely stunning, as is that one. And look at the difference in the colours. You're just going to get that beautiful... You know, if you have them on your craft stand, this is going to be a stand that people are going to look at. This is Karen's seal. That, I love the depth of colour in that one as well.
So this is the Oriental Style with the exposed stamens in there, and then you have the other ones. But so the Peony Leaf is $12.98 in the UK or $14.99 US. Okay, so that's the, as I said, the fourth mold. Yep, that's great. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Calla Lily. Okay, so Calla Lily. This is not only a Calla Lily mold, all right, so all the surprises here. This is also used for Tulip Leaves, Hosta Leaves, and Lily the Valley Leaf. So this shows, obviously, again, step by step, the Calla Lily. So there's obviously a video, a tutorial on making Calla Lilies. There's also one on the Tulip Leaves, the Hosta Leaves, and Lily the Valley Leaves. Okay, thank you, Noreen. So pull that around. So this part here, this is the spadix or spadix. All right, so I'm just going to bring these in just to show you. So on the actual, on the videos, I show 5 different sizes of Calla Lilies. All right. And there is a, when you go to the Calla Lily and you sort of, to click on that, you will also see a downloadable PDF file of the templates, all right? So if you don't own Calla Lily cutters, then you just can print this off on cardstock and then you can just cut around. I would also personally recommend, if you have a laminator, or if you could have that paper card laminated, it's going to make it more durable. So you just cut around with a pair of scissors. Now if you already have Calla Lily cutters, what I'd recommend you do is just print this off paper and then see which is the closest size
to the size,
the cutter you have.
But for anyone who doesn't, and particularly crafters who may not have you know, the cutters like this for me was absolutely invaluable, because I would never have gotten that shape.
Yeah, and it's sort of nice because you get perfect shapes there. So of course, these are your 5 sizes of your spadix, all right? And then this mold here is used for the texture. So what you actually do there, you're just going to roll this down like this, and it gives you this beautiful texture. You then would in sugar ones, brush this with generally piping gel or using a confectioner's glaze, and then use like crystal sugar on the 2 larger one, and then sanding sugar or granulated sugar on the smaller ones. You see here, you can see the sugary surface just on the top 2/3. So this is a really wonderful way to get your centers. And then you can also use this for other things. Like, for example, this is fun to use for grass texture, which I show on the videos. So when you're doing, like, on, say, sugar paste or rolled fondant on a cookie, on a cupcake, you know, like a golf course, I mean, anything you want, like a grass texture, this is wonderful. And then if you were doing like a suitcase or a book and you wanted to emulate the look of leather, this is actually, what I did there is, if you just put a piece of plastic wrap cling film over the top of your sugar paste, your rolled fondant, and just sort of do that lightly. It
just softens it, doesn't it?
It sort of gives you that sort of texture.
Gives you that texture.
You know, so when you go over that with a little bit of colour, you're going to get like a beautiful leather book page cover, or obviously a journal.
Fantastic, I love that.
And again, for craft application. You can also use that when you do, like, for example, little snowballs. If you just gently roll over the top of them like that, you get like a little texture, like a snowball.
Love it.
So you could even use that to make teddy bears with.
I could see that as a truffle.
True, that would be really fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, make your own little truffles.
So you can see, like, you make like a little snowman, would be really cute, make his little head and things. But anyway, so these are your, of course, five templates. So this is the first part of the mold, okay? And then when you do the petals here, which is called the spade, these are your 5 sizes. So basically you're going to use this to press on the top. And of course then once you've done that, you'll see, actually using that really jumbo ball tool, I sort of turn it over and I sort of soften with this because it's a larger shape, yeah. And but this would obviously give you the veining, and then you're going to wrap this around your center to create your Calla Lily. See, so this creates your beautiful Calla Lily. And Calla Lily is 5 sizes, so this is the extra large, this is the extra large, and then unfortunately these got a little bit damaged on the set yesterday, so this one's a little bit beat up, but it just gives you an idea. This would be the medium size, this is the small size here, and then I'm going to bring in the purple ones here just to show you.
Every one of which is just stunning.
And then this one here is the sort of the large size, you see. And so that gives you some ideas. Just going to pop this down.
And I think those are very on trend at the moment.
Totally.
There's quite a few people when we're at Excel at the cake exhibition were saying that they'd been asked to do cake. So this just so easy to make.
So Calla Lily is great. And then again, this is just showing you a few examples of the Calla Lilies. And so here you'll see we've got this is like a float-in spray, and I show how to do this on the video, how I create this effect of the sort of the stems and then the tubing and things here. So this is has 5 Calla Lilies. These are the large size, and I did these in a purple color. And again, I've used actually one of my original molds here. Just bend this a little bit so I don't. But this is actually done with my hollyberry mistletoe berry mold.
And that's so clever.
So just it gives a really nice like triple pearl around the bottom. Thank you, Noreen. And then we've got a few other Calla Lilies just to show you here. So we can just want to pop those in the camera for me, Noreen.
So for those amongst us that do like crafting as opposed to maybe it's the sugar craft, you can see that just making one of those little lilies on a card, or maybe you're going to do 2 or 3, and there's nothing wrong in doing a fantasy colour as well. If that's what you're wanting to do, then you can certainly achieve that.
And then you actually made these ones, didn't you, Nora?
Yeah, yes. I did, yeah.
So these are some, you can see here, Calla Lilies in different colours, because these little small ones are really trendy now, and I love the green one especially, of course. And this was actually made by Karen Seal, so these are made, this is
Jack
Heath, but this is like more of a...
It's kind of a grunge type, like a, very retro style.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Good, thank you.
I think we've got another question whilst we're showing.
Someone's asking, how did you get those Calla Lilies attached to the pink cake? Floating.
That's all on the.
We're not going to tell you. Keep it a secret.
That's on the. So there's a video called Finishing Touches, and I show how to create that effect and how I do the stems and finish it all off.
So you need to go on there and have a look. There's so many ingenious ideas that you think, wow, how did I never think of that?
And then this is a beautiful wreath here, and you can see here this wreath is made. This was made by Julie Askew, who's one of our design team members.
I do love the colours in there as well.
It's so beautiful. I mean, but you can imagine this you could hang on your door because this is done in air drying clay. But Julie has made the little small Calla Lilies here, and then you've got hydrangeas and obviously some foliage, and then the peony and peony buds here. So this is done like the quick peony, but this is done with individual petals, but not wired. So like the one I showed you from her Chanda.
Absolutely stunning, Julie. I love that.
And then this is also used for like leaves. So for example, like this large hosta leaf, alright, so I show how to make this. This is done with a fettuccine noodle attachment from your pasta machine. So I actually show this on the video, how to do the stripes, which you inlay on top of the green paste. Lily of the Valley leaf, alright, so that's again a leaf that I used actually in book 1 with the Lily of the Valley. And then the tulip leaves, again, unfortunately, it's because we had to travel back and forward to London. We had a few fatalities on my son, but the actual the tulip leaf here, you can see how this is the leaf of the tulip, and you can make these in different sizes, like smaller ones on the cake, bigger one here. You slide this up the tube, and this is all
perfect, isn't it? Absolutely perfect.
So it's all shown on the video, so you'll be able to sort of understand how. Oh, and then these are Calla Lilies. All right, so this is the large Calla Lily. So you can imagine, for home decor, have a beautiful vase, you'd make like 3 Calla Lilies in air drying clay. But this is the extra large size Calla Lily, okay? And in the video I show how to sort of put how to make the stems thick with several different options.
And that in itself is a revelation.
Using straw, using green tubes, using poly dowels, thickening it with paper towel or a napkin. So there's lots and lots of tips there on using that.
Okay, so we've got another question of Katie.
You just mentioned the green tubes. Is that available on your website?
We do, but you can also find the green tubes. You can find those online as well. we were just, those of you that live here in the UK, this is the smaller tubing I used on the cake. And actually Kerry Griffiths was shopping in Wilkinson's, Wilko, and he, in the gardening department, he found this sort of, it's a big, I can't remember how many meters, it's a large amount of it for like £3. And this is, but it's called garden twine. And what it's plastic. It's plastic, so you'd use this on your tomatoes or your roses, so it's natural color. But this is the same type of tubing that we import from Japan. So this can actually be, but it is a seasonal item, obviously, because it is sort of a seasonal garden type item. And this also would be something that you would buy and then use this for the smaller Calla Lilies. So that's at Wilkinson's or Wilko, and as I said, those are obviously all over the UK.
And again, this is another tip that you need to check out, because obviously we haven't got time to be telling you about everything, but you've bared all, haven't you? Bared your soul, really, in those tutorials and those tips. Really, really fantastic, amazing.
And then just last couple of things, those of you who do Calla Lilies with air drying clay, the Flower Soft that Katy Sue designs sell. This is wonderful for the Calla Lily. So this is actually an air drying clay one. So that gives you that sort of fuzzy look on top of your
get that
spadix.
Texture straight away, yes.
So that's just done with the air drying, as I said, with the Polar White products. And then other molds that we've launched 3 weeks ago was obviously this is the Calyx Trio. So if you haven't seen this is actually a mold to make your rose calyxes. So rather than using the traditional route of using a cutter and then feathering it and shaping it and hollowing it, this will enable you to make a rose calyx like all in one piece. And then you have the little ovary mold which you just pop up to the back.
I love that. Look how realistic that's made it look. I just didn't understand what that ovary was, but yeah, perfection.
Well, thank you. It's sort of, we're really excited about everything. And then, along with the blossom cutters I showed you earlier on, and remember those come in 3 sizes, the 70mm, 90mm, and 110mm, which is 7, 9, 11 centimeters. Those are the sizes for the small, medium, and large rose. We're sorry that, that was basically planned. We started planning the cutters at the same time as the but just getting these right.
Just had production faults.
Yes.
And as with any other Katy Sue product, it would not be done and sent out until that was perfect. No, and that was the reason for the delay.
Yeah.
But again, those are professional standards, aren't they?
And so this is a 4-piece rose cutter set, but also, of course, especially this large one, you can use this for example hydrangea leaves, small sunflower leaves, and many other things as well. But it has a beautiful, and of course this is done in my Vena. And again, there's a tutorial on that. So you will find there's the 3 tutorials that we did a few weeks ago when we launched with Kerry Griffiths. You'll find the quick peony, and then the using the blossom cutters and using that there. So the Calla Lily is also $19.99 or $24.99, and so we're, as I said, super excited about that. So just
remind people about the free.
That's right. So as I said, when you're ordering on Katy Sue Designs website, if you just put in the code, just put in obviously flowerpro lowercase, all one word, and then you'll be entered to win. And as I said, you'll get a nice apron, as I said, the jumbo ball tool, and then a £50 or $50 gift certificate. Those of you in the US, also, like for example, some of you, I'm flying back home to Atlanta in the morning, and it's been a busy 10 days. But so some of you are coming to our holiday open house, our spring open house this weekend. Also in upcoming, for example, events in the US, like at SoFlo Cake and Candy Show in Miami in 2 weeks' time, we will have the full Flower Pro collection. So especially maybe some of you coming from South America or the Caribbean or things, and you're coming to SoFlo, we will have the new molds there. Don't be worried about it.
All I can say after that is just thank you, particularly Katy Sue Designs, for fantastic products. Thank you, Nick, for the ingenuity and the expertise that is handed over to us with all those tutorials, the YouTube tutorials, and just the inspiration that I know that is going to really, really excite you. So I just can't wait for you to get these home, get the products home, and good luck with the draw. If you don't, it really doesn't matter, because you're a winner in buying these products. So thanks again for watching. Safe journey back home,
thank you so much, Noreen. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been an absolute joy.
So I hope you've enjoyed the Nick and Noreen show.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Happy flower making.